Hello everyone, and welcome back to Moral Flower. Today we're going to talk about all the books that I read in November. So let's start. The first book that I finished this month was The Pumpkin Spice Cafe by Laurie Gilmore. This is a cozy small town romance that takes place during autumn. It is heavily inspired by Gilmore Girls, and because of that I thought I was going to really enjoy this. And the beginning was okay, it was really cute and I was really vibing with it, but then it kind of went down for me from there. I don't think it compares just to how magical Gilmore Girls is for me, and that's okay. This book might be for you. Personally, it wasn't super for me, and I give this 3 stars. The second book I finished this month was The Ball at Versailles by Danielle Steel. Surprisingly, I really did enjoy this book. I thought it was an interesting story. I thought the characters were somewhat well developed. I thought the male characters weren't insufferable, and I was actually rooting for the relationships in this book. My only bone to pick with this is the writing itself, because this book, in my opinion, it feels like it didn't pass through an editor. It feels like the publishing house just got the manuscript and they sent it straight away to printing because they trust the author so much, which ended up being a disservice to this book and to this story. It just was super repetitive, and there was a lot of she did this, she did that, she went here, she blah blah blah, she, or he. And it's just, it was not good. It could have easily been less than 100 pages if it had been edited. So that is like my only bone to pick with it. I still did enjoy it, and I gave this 3.5 stars. The next book I finished was A Man Called Uva by Fredrik Backman. This is a story... Oh, I forgot to say what Ball at Versailles is. It's just basically these girls that get invited to go to, like, come out at Versailles. That's basically it. Anyways, A Man Called Uva is about this grumpy old man that is about to commit suicide, but his plans end up changing with the arrival of his new neighbors. It's just a sweet little story. I really did enjoy this, and I give this 5 stars. My only bone to pick with this, and it did not change my rating, is that this man that they call the old man, and he reads so much like an old guy, like an old grumpy man. He's 59. Like, is it just me, or is that not old enough to be called a grumpy old man? Like, to me, a grumpy old man is someone on their late 70s, early 80s, or even like late 80s, like your grandpa, you know, not your father. My father is close to 59, and I don't see him as a grumpy old man. I see him just as a grumpy man, not a grumpy old man, you know? So yeah, that struck me as a bit of odd, and some of his behavior came off more as a red flag than if he was actually 70 or 80 years old, you know? It went from being wholesome to... what the fuck is he doing? You know? I don't know if that was just me. I mean, it probably was. It still didn't change my rating, because to be honest, that's revealed like towards the end of the book. Not that it's a big revelation or anything, like it's not supposed to be a big revelation, but yeah, it's like we find out his age towards the end, and I just kept imagining until the end that he was like my grandpa, not my dad, because I thought that would be better. So there we go. That's A Man Called Uva. And then we have, and this will be possibly the last book I read this month, To Kill a Mockingbird by Harper Lee. And the reason why I say that is that I'm recording this before the month is over. It's 27 currently, and I am in the midst of reading this book. I am actually not here. I'm a bit farther in the book, just not sure exactly where, because I'm listening to the audiobook, and I was listening while I was cooking today. So I'm probably like around there or something, and I will be finishing this tomorrow. At least that's the plan, to finish this tomorrow, and I will finish. That's why I'm counting this for this video, for this wrap up. This is a story of a lawyer that's working in the case where a black man is accused of raping a white girl, and it's not true, it's a false accusation. So this lawyer is trying to prove this man's innocence before he's sent to get killed, but it is told from the children's perspective, which is really interesting, and I was definitely not expecting that when I started this. I really expected this to be a much heavier read, much more difficult to digest type of read, And I'm not saying it won't be towards the end, but right now, and I am a little bit over halfway, it's not super heavy. It is handled in a very light manner, and we are just following the children of this lawyer, and you kind of see the case from their innocent eyes, because the boy at the time is 12 and the girl, I believe, is almost 9, so they are still very young children. I think the boy kind of understands much better what a rape is, but the girl doesn't really understand what that means exactly. Like, the father has told her, but she doesn't really comprehend what it actually means, if that makes sense. So for the most part, especially up until we get to like middle-ish section, we are just following the adventures of these two children, of them just being silly and goofy and going to school for the first time and like trying to mess up with their neighbors and doing all of these silly little things that little kids do. At the same time, they have a black maid at home, so they are brought up in this much more welcoming environment to black people, and they are raised to see them more as equals than anything else, which I think really plays into these characters as well, and the way that they act when people are essentially talking shit about their father defending a black guy in court. And it's just, I don't know, I'm really enjoying this book so far. It is definitely not what I was expecting, but yeah, I am really enjoying this. I can see how this became a classic and how this is such an important story to tell at the time that I'm reading this. So without finishing it first, my opinion might change. You can see on my Instagram. On Instagram, it will be like my actual like final ratings for these books. But as of now, my rating for this is a 4-star. But I have a feeling it will become higher as I finish this. But yeah, there it is. To Kill a Mockingbird. And I will mention on this video, although it is a big if, I don't know if I actually will finish it, but I will aim to finish Spy Family Volume 5 this month as well. I was over halfway. I keep trying to pick it back up and finish it and never end up having the time to do it. But I have a few days until I need to travel, so I will try to do that. So that's what I'm gonna aim for. So Spy Family Volume 5 will also be counted on this video. I hope I am right, and I hope I did finish it. And if my rating doesn't change from what I was reading this book, it will probably end up being a 4.5. And this is the story, by the way, about this family of, well, the dad is a spy, and the mom is an assassin, like a hired assassin, and the daughter has telekinesis. Oh, and the dog can see the future as well. Forgot about him. So it's just a bunch of silly activities that this family is getting into. And it's really silly, really fun. And I really enjoyed this story. So there you go. And with that book, it does mean that I read 5 books this month. And yeah, this is gonna be it for this video. Let me know in the comments how many books you managed to read this month and what rating you gave them. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye!